A big part that like played into me wanting to go to church when I was little was that was when I could see my grandmother. And so a lot of my memories with her are from those Sundays while I was growing up. I'm pretty sure like the Sunday after I was born, I was at church. Like I was a swimmer in 6th grade, so that was majority of my life. I swam starting in 3rd grade all the way to the end of my 8th grade year. I was contemplating switching to show choir, and that was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my entire life because swimming was such a big aspect of who I was. It taught me so much. If somebody asked me what my main goal of swimming, like my dream was, it wasn't even to go to the Olympics because I knew I wasn't that good and I never would be that good. But I just wanted to swim at IU. That just kind of set off a whole like year of confusion about who I was and like what I wanted to do. That I guess there was a little bit of questioning there about God. I was just like, why would he make me feel this way? I've already swam this long. I was confused. I was like, what is going on? But I really had to like rely on God through those, through like that year. I started show choir and I fell in love with it. I knew, I was like, oh yes, I made the right decision. Junior year? Junior year was by far the worst year of my entire life. Like it was so bad. I was taking really hard courses. I found myself with just at least like 2 to 3 hours worth of like work that I needed to do every single night after like practice, and then just like breaking down in tears because of all the stuff I had to do. I would go home and find myself like stress eating like bars of cookie dough. Anxiety was constantly making me feel like I needed to like keep moving farther and farther in advance, especially with my schoolwork. I remember getting like a B on an anatomy test. I instantly got out my phone and texted my mom and I was like, we need to order this textbook so I can like read the whole chapter for the next test. I'm sure my math textbook was like, I bet you the pages were wrinkly from just me crying on them, because if I just didn't understand one thing, I was like, well, I'm not gonna understand it for the quiz, which is then gonna mess up my grade for the test, and the test's gonna mess up my grade for the GPA, and then I'm not gonna get in the top 10% of my class. And so it just constantly like just kept going forward and forward. And I was like, when is this gonna end? There was an anatomy quiz that my teacher didn't teach half this stuff, and it made me so upset that I literally like out loud argued with him about it. And I did get the grade like a whole 1.5 points back on that quiz, but like that's to the extent that I would go to like make sure my GPA wasn't ruined. It was definitely just pressure put on to myself. I felt that I needed to get all these good grades so I could get into this college, when it's weird because deep down I knew, I'm like, it's all gonna be fine. I'm gonna get into college. It's not that big of a deal. But still, like up here, I was just like, you gotta keep going. You gotta get A's on absolutely everything. And so that really ruined a lot of my junior year for me. And then September that year, that's when Trinity passed away. And a lot, like everything just changed for me there. It was definitely one of the hardest things I've ever gone through. Just knowing that it really could be anyone, and it changed my perspective a lot in the fact that you don't know if there's gonna be a tomorrow. And then May, that's when my grandmother died unexpectedly, and then that was absolutely devastating to me. She's a big reason as to why my faith is as strong as it is today, and so that was really hard on me. And that transferred over into the summer going into my senior year, so that anxiety just ramped up again. And I felt like I needed to continue moving forward, but like part of me felt like I was still like there, so still stuck in junior year. For a lot of people, when they struggle with like that type of anxiety, they would say that they struggled with doubting and all of that, but I really didn't. I thought it was kind of weird. I was like, I feel like now would be the time where I would be like having all of these doubts and stuff, but I wasn't. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I really trusted God in everything, and I think that if I didn't, I really would have struggled 10 times more than I did. So I am really lucky that I did grow up like going to church. I knew deep down that I was gonna be okay. I'd say that if I didn't have that kind of faith from like my childhood all the way up till now, I feel like I would be lost, especially with going through all of the anxiety that I had. My favorite verse is 1 Corinthians 16:14, and that's let all that you do be done in love. That has definitely helped me a lot because I do that for other people, and then I can also do that for myself. I feel like that is my purpose, is to just, it doesn't matter where I am, I need to just let everything I do be done in love. Yeah.